Hello, my beautiful piano teaching friends. I'm Connie from the Music Mentory. I have a question for you. What do you think is the one thing that affects everything about teaching piano? Affects your pricing, your marketing, your scheduling? If you had to pick one thing, what do you think it would be? That's what we're going to talk about today. That one thing is your studio model. Okay, here's what I mean by that. The model is essentially how you run your lessons. Your model really determines everything. It's going to determine your pricing. It's going to determine your scheduling, your marketing message, and your energy level that it takes. Okay, without a clearly defined structure, it's easy to get overcommitted or undercharge or attract the wrong type of students. We've all probably had experiences with those, and they drain us. All right, a very defined model helps you communicate your value, your plan for growth, and you can make very confident business decisions whether you teach private or group or a hybrid of those, or in person or online, or a hybrid of those. Um, Clarity is going to create consistency, and consistency creates trust. Let's talk about some different studio models. All right, there's private lessons. When I first started teaching, I did private lessons, 30 minutes, just like my teacher had done with me. That's all I knew. So I did 30-minute private lessons, and I started out as a traveling teacher. Um, and some people do that, and that has its benefits. Every one of these models has great benefits, also drawbacks. The drawback to that is you've got to be sure you build in travel time and gas expenses into your price. So that's another expense that most teachers don't have. And you can't do makeups nearly as easily. If you've got a certain route that you drive to get to students' homes in a certain amount of time, you can't just pluck one from one day and put them in another day when you're going to be clear across town. So it's not as flexible, but it's very convenient. Students don't have to leave their home. You come to their house, they get to play on their own instrument. Okay, then there's the private lesson where it's 30 minutes, 45, 60 minutes, but they come to you at your studio. That can be very flexible, even in what you teach, because it's an individual student. You can change the music, you can change the speed at what they learn, you can put in theory, it moves all at their own pace. So it's very customized, individual attention. Some of the drawbacks are there are not a lot of peer motivation or any kind of socialization. There's not opportunities for ensembles, duets, or hearing or seeing other students progress. Okay, so pros and cons. Um, Groups. A lot more teachers are teaching in group now, and some are absolutely loving it. And there I know is a lot of just the peer energy, and you can do more things in a group like games or contests or even group challenges that they maybe try to work together as a group to earn things and rewards and things like that. Okay, drawback is there's not that flexible, individualized attention. Um, and then a hybrid group, private, then there's in person and online. There's strengths to both of those as well. So you got to decide if your studio is going to be private or group or a hybrid of those. And is it fully online, fully in person, or a hybrid of that? So what does a typical teaching week look like for you? Let's clarify your scope. Okay, determine how many students you can fit into your model. Ideally, you don't want to cram too many in there so that you're burned out and drained. What's the ideal number of students that you can have? What are the teaching hours you want to have? And the type of student you want to have, and the type of experience you want your students to walk away from. What's going to be most important to you? Your students to be That was so much fun. I can't wait to go to my lesson again. Or do you want them to come away going, I really learned something. We learned about a composer. I learned a lot of things I didn't know. Or do you want your student to walk away going, oh, I was able to conquer that challenge that I was having such a hard time with? I mean, you've got to think about what you want your students to get out of it, and that's what you're going to structure your model around. Let's align your pricing with your value. Base your tuition on the overall value you provide, not the number of minutes you provide. Someone could come and sit with me for 30 minutes, and if I were not a good teacher, I could be on my phone, I could be thinking about other things, I could be nearly falling asleep. Student plays straight through their songs. I say, great, let's go to the next one. All right, great, let's move to the next one. Okay, what's going to come out of that lesson? Nothing. Or it might be a shorter time. I'm energized, on point, on focus. We have one goal. We accomplish that together. We get that done, and we set a new goal for next week that they go home and work on. I mean, it depends on, it's not the number of minutes, it's the overall value. And there's other things in the value, not just what the student's getting out of it, the transformation that's happening, but there's things like how much time do you spend for materials, looking over materials, seeing if they're a good fit, and then purchasing materials. That's a cost. How about planning time? Planning for recitals, planning for practice challenges, planning for, we just did a big pirates camp at my studio and it was a reward. We earned over a few months and then we got to do this pirates camp adventure. A lot of practice went in, a lot of time, planning went into that. And I bought a pirate's costume. And so there was a lot more into it. Also, the time you spend communicating. If you write a newsletter or you communicate to your parents through email, do you do that every week, once a month? And any kind of changes, bonuses, announcements, and things like that. All that should be factored into the value that you're providing. Now, setting your schedule boundaries. This is going to be different for each model, also different for each teacher. So it's your personal choice and what goes best with your model. Decide how students fit into your system. Is it a rotating schedule, a fixed time? Are they in group slots? And communicate those expectations very clearly. Now, I teach a combination of private and group, and I am exclusively online. So my scheduling for that is I have my group classes set on a certain day of the week. Students come to those. Right now, I do not have a makeup for those groups. You could. You could make a video of that group class and provide the video to people that miss. You could make up a little packet of what was covered in the group for anyone that misses. So you could have sort of makeups, but you cannot recreate the group experience. So it's really different to do a makeup for group. My private lessons, makeups are irrelevant because I do asynchronous private lessons through Marco Polo. So they have a lesson day. They can send in their lesson anytime during the day. 3 o'clock in the morning, in the afternoon, in the morning, at midnight. I don't care because I'm going to respond to all those first thing the next morning. I go through and batch and do all those from the day before. And if they happen to miss their day, if their day was Wednesday and it was a horrible Wednesday, they can move it to Thursday or Friday. It's not that big a deal. It doesn't mess with my schedule really at all. So makeups are kind of not even a thing for my private lessons. And they don't really fit my group class well. So I don't have a lot of issues with that. But some people have absolutely zero makeups for no matter what. I used to create my schedule in a way so that people could have unlimited makeups for any reason. They didn't need to tell me the reason. And the way I did that is I had hours empty, at least one every day, one slot. Sometimes it was 30 minutes every day that was empty. So if students, they could go onto my schedule and click, take themselves off of their slot, look for another open slot, and put themselves there. Well, now any of those open slots, I did my office work time. I worked on recital stuff. I worked on organizing music. I worked on all that stuff that we did. I'm at my desk, I'm at my office, and I can get that done. So it doesn't matter if I do it here or here. That's how I used to run makeups. So there's the whole gamut. There's like me, unlimited makeups for any reason at any time. I mean, within my schedule, or no makeups for no matter what the reason, unless you're dying as I choke. All right. So that's scheduling and having boundaries for your schedule. Another important thing is to communicate the benefits of your model. Every model has different benefits. They all have drawbacks. You don't want to communicate the drawbacks. You want to communicate the great things about how you teach and stack that up. Go ahead and list it. So, for example, a private studio can emphasize personalized instruction um, at your own pace. It's very customized, it's very flexible. We track their progress. There's a lot of parent communication every week if you do that. Some practice apps and things allow for notes to go home to parents right there through the app. So this is ideal for teachers that really value depth and flexibility, and parents that are looking for that as well. All right, group studios can focus on the community, on the socialization, on collaboration, on very efficient scheduling, on the energy, on teamwork, on learning as a group, all those fun things that you can do, and talk about, like my Pirates camp, or talk about different things that you're doing in group. Hybrid studios can combine both of those for their regular private lessons. We get the individualized instruction, the customized flexibility, and the fun and the peer and the games and the group, both. So you want to really demonstrate that. Same thing with in-person or online. We were all kind of forced online during those COVID years. I chose to recreate my teaching system and stayed online. And typically, people, maybe not teachers, but students, parents that are looking for lessons, think that in person is better than online. And some teachers have that idea too. And I thought that as well. I did not want to go online. I was not happy about it. I had no choice. Maybe that's why I wasn't happy about it. But what I've created now, I absolutely love, and I would not want to go back for anything. I absolutely love it. And I have students all over the country, and that's really fun. Um, I had a couple of students while I was evolving and creating a new teaching system, um, say that they liked their lessons more now that we were online. And they tried to be like, I don't mean that I don't like seeing you. I really do like seeing you, but I'm getting more out of my lessons now. And these were adult students who they said, I really am getting a lot out of them online, more than I was in person. So that means that was a click for me. That's going to fit my personality. That's going to fit my strengths. And I can just accentuate that. It's not the same for every teacher. So I'm not saying that everybody should do it like I do. This is what I'm saying is I found a way that really clicks with me and my vibe. And I'm really utilizing that and using that for my strengths. And students are drawn to that fit that as well and are really thriving in the way that I teach. So you want to communicate those benefits, not only when you're marketing, but also in your newsletters or in your communication with parents all the time. Evaluate your fit. Does your model really fit you? It needs to fit you and it needs to fit your students. Now, sometimes it might not fit the students that you have, all of them. I've had some students that as soon as I saw their name coming up on the schedule, I just went, oh. Maybe you've all had that experience. Like they were such a challenge to teach and they didn't seem like they wanted to be there. They didn't practice, just all the things. It wasn't mutually beneficial. So those students kind of, it squeezes them out. They're no longer with me. And I've made room and I have students that really love the way I teach and are thriving in it. And you got to evaluate what's the best fit. And it's not the best fit for every student. So if you're trying to just be all, I teach all ages, I teach all types, I teach all kinds of music, you're going to end up really with nothing to offer. There's nothing exclusive about you. It's like the jack of all trades and master of none. Master what really fits you. Okay, think about your teaching personality. Mine is, I have found I thrive more in group situations. If I can do some private, like I actually have students that pay for these private coaching sessions. They're just like a practice session with me, just even like 15 minutes, targeted. And we do that every week. Um, in fact, that's my referral program. I give away like 4 of those for every student they refer, and they get these private sessions. I enjoy doing those, but if I had to do just private sessions like that, that's when it drains me. My throat gets tired. I get tired. Other teachers might not be that way. That might just be the what really energizes them. But I find that after I've done a group class, especially my older beginners, I am just pumped afterwards. I am super excited. Okay, that's your clue. Um, so it's got to fit your personality. What builds you up instead of draining you, and your lifestyle. Do you have family and kids that you want to be involved with? I have an amazing friend, piano teacher. We were each other's accountability partner for, I want to say, almost 2 years. Maybe it was a year and a half. Learned a lot from her. And she did not want to teach past like 5 o'clock because she wanted to be with her family. So I totally get that. And weekends, no, Fridays and things, they would go camping and do things. So that was hers. So she targeted homeschool daytime lessons. So she teaches a lot in the morning and has those few in the afternoon, but it's early afternoon. So that's what I taught being about your lifestyle. What do you want to have happen in your life? And this should contribute to your lifestyle, not take away from it. And think about your long-term goals. Maybe you do have to be a little out of sync for a little while so that you can accomplish some goals. Then you can get back in sync. That's kind of how life works. But don't build a system that drains you. Think about your plan for growth. Is this model going to grow with you? Anticipate how you can evolve this model. Are you going to be able to add components to the group, add more groups? Can you add some hybrid options? Um, maybe add teen teachers to your studio? There's lots of different ways that teachers do it that you can evolve into, that you can try, that can actually expand and grow your studio. I've learned from some teachers, and I know others have learned from me. And I would like to invite you to our studio coffee chats. We meet together at 11 o'clock, that is Central Time, every Thursday, except for holidays. And we talk about different concepts every week. It's something different every week. And we learn a lot from how other teachers do it. And we can share what we have been doing that didn't work or that did work. So I'd love to have you there. Um, I will put the link for that down in the description below. And hopefully you've loved this and have a wonderful time teaching this week.